Today I want to share with you guys some things that I wish that I would have known the first time that I grew out my mustache. And as you guys can see, I have curlers in my stash right now, and that's because I'm going to be putting in some mustache wax while I talk to you guys today. The wax is going to be Father's mustache wax in a little tube, and I'm going to be using the Tomahawk by Savvy Jack, as well as a small mirror in front of me. So a little backstory, when I first started to grow my mustache, it wasn't because I wanted to have a mustache. It was actually because I was having some issues during shaving. For some reason, I don't know if it was just how dry the place was that I was living or whatever the case was, but when I would shave my upper lip, it just kept getting razor burned. And I hadn't changed up anything. I was using the same razor as well as shave cream that I had always been using at that time. So I decided to go ahead and see what would happen if I grew out my mustache, because I just didn't feel like dealing with that. This was well before I started a YouTube channel, and I knew absolutely nothing about mustache care. Now, my facial hair experience to that point wasn't what it is today. I can tell you that for sure, because all I had was a goatee at the time, and I really was not interested in using beard oils or beard balms. In fact, I don't even know if any of that even really existed at the time of growing my mustache. Now, I did know that mustache wax was a thing at the time because of a few channels that I ran into when I was doing a little bit of research on growing a mustache. Now, at the time, that very long time ago, there wasn't really much information out there. There was a few wax reviews and not really much in the beard care or mustache care sectors on even YouTube. So a lot of this was just new to me, and I had to kind of figure it out on my own. And one of those things that I had to figure out on my own was patience. Because I had the goatee, but I really never paid attention to it. I didn't wash it with anything special. I just had it, right? It was there. So I never paid attention to how long or how quickly my facial hair would grow, because I had always shaved my beard, never had anything but the goatee. Well, like everything, when you are wanting something to grow or wanting something to happen or to get something, it always seems like that it takes about 2 to 3 times longer than it actually does. And I found very quickly that because I wanted my mustache to grow, it was going to take me longer than I thought that it would. And once it did grow, I found out that I still needed more patience because, well, you can mess things up fairly quickly, and we'll get to that here in a second. The second thing that I wish that I would have known is to grow more than just the mustache area. Because if you don't grow out the entire beard area, at least the jaw or around the mouth in a large goatee type fashion, you will find out fairly quickly that, well, trimming it is not exactly easy. Because what I found out later on in my experience with the mustache growing is that, well, you end up trimming up stuff that you shouldn't trim. For me, it was right here at the mouth corner. I was trimming that much higher than I do nowadays, and in fact, only this year did I start to trim it where it should have been trimmed at the whole time. And because I was shaving it a little bit higher than it should have, I always had little hairs that stick down here, and these days they're a little bit longer because they are trying to catch up. But it meant that it just never quite looked right for all those years, even though that I thought that I was trimming it in the proper place. And speaking of shaving or trimming the mustache, I learned that, well, you definitely need patience for that as well. Because if you do what I did, which was trim it as soon as I thought that I should, it's never going to get as long as you want, because you don't get a long mustache or long facial hair by trimming it. And well, I made that mistake a lot. And I trimmed it up for about a year, and it just wasn't ever looking quite right or getting to where I wanted it to be. And you can see this even in some of my very first videos where the mustache just doesn't quite ever look right. Now, if I could go back and tell myself one tip out of everything that I have learned and know nowadays, it would be to don't trim the mustache. Just don't do it until the mustache gets to the length that you want it or past where you actually want it, because that first few times, well, you're gonna end up trimming it shorter than what you think you should, and so letting it go longer than what you actually want is definitely helpful. I also wish that I would have known that there's going to be an awkward stage. And this awkward phase happens to be right about the time where your hair's not quite long enough to where it can look like a mustache on its own, and not quite short enough where it just looks like a 5 o'clock shadow. That was also right about the same time that I realized that if I kept growing it just straight down, that I was going to look like I should be in a van with free candy written on the side. Believe me, it's not a good look on me. I decided to not shave it because, well, it looked a whole lot worse with a red upper lip all the time. So just know that the hair will grow out and it will start looking better fairly quickly. And now, because I was very aware that my mustache looked really awkward and really weird, I started thinking that other people were thinking the same thing when I was out at the store or whatever. And I'll tell you that that messed with me more than what I would like to admit it did. Because you're already kind of self-conscious about it, and then you start thinking that other people are thinking things about it as well. That just made me want to shave it even more, even though that I knew that I wanted it. So being able to kind of put that stuff aside made me just do what I wanted to do and keep on growing it. Now, your friends might say something to you about it, your family might say something to you about it, because, well, that they're always around you. So anything new is going to be kind of a surprise to them, and it's going to take them a little bit of getting used to. But besides your friends and your family making comments about it, nobody else is thinking about it. And if a stranger does say something to you about it, just say, yeah, I'm trying something new. Most people aren't going to, and most people aren't thinking about what your facial hair looks like unless it looks decent. Now, at that point, I had decided that I wasn't going to do a straight down mustache like my dad has, and I was going to end up needing to do some kind of handlebar mustache. And well, I really wish that I would have known that training hair was a thing at the time, because I was not really doing anything but using a medium wax to kind of push it aside and hope that it wouldn't look too bad eventually. And if I would have known better, I would have kept a comb with me, and I would have made sure that I was combing it all the time to try to get those hairs to go the directions that I wanted it to, so that I wouldn't struggle with it later on down the line as the mustache grew longer. Now, something that I continue to learn a lot is to not compare my mustache to somebody else's mustache or facial hair journey. And the reason is that all of our hair grows differently. It's all different colors, you know, and black hair honestly shows up better in a mustache. So people with darker mustaches are going to have a more bold mustache. You can only do with your mustache what you can. You were born with certain genetics, your hair grows a certain way, a certain color, and there's not really much that you can do to change much of that. Sure, you can dye your mustache and stuff, but honestly, just try and be happy with what you have, because there's many guys out there that I know that they can't grow a mustache no matter how long they let it go. You just got to think about that. You may wish that you had somebody else's mustache, but there's somebody that wishes that they could grow your mustache. And there's people out there that will say that your mustache is absolute crap. And that's their opinion, you know? Be happy with what mustache you can grow. And through the many years of having a mustache now, I have learned that they don't always want to cooperate with you. And do what you are trying to get it to do. So once again, it kind of all comes back to patience. If you want to try your patience, grow a long handlebar mustache and see how much patience you actually have. Because I'll tell you right now, I've almost chopped these off several times. And so it is one of those things that you're just going to have to learn and work with your own facial hair, because like I said, everybody's is different. Where my mustache really likes to use the curlers to get a decent stash, where yours may prefer heat even, and so that, you know, everybody has to do their own kind of thing. And the last thing that I wish that I would have known when I started my mustache journey is that your mustache is not always symmetrical. In fact, most people's mustaches are not. Like for instance, this side of my mustache grows faster than this side does. It also tends to grow a little bit thicker. And although that really annoys me, it adds a little bit of character sometimes, as well as the bad side doesn't like to cooperate as much as the other side does either. And that really brings it down to me wanting to know what things you wish that you would have known when you started growing your mustache or beard out. So make sure that you leave those down in the comment section below. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and maybe will have an idea of what to expect when you start to grow your mustache. And if you want to know how to care for your mustache, make sure to check out this playlist up here with a whole bunch of tips and how-tos. Down below, that's going to be a video that you may enjoy of mine as well. Until next time, as always, you have a good one.